Hi, my name is George Janis. I'm president of Consumer Debt Counselors, headquartered in Winter Park, Florida. Our nonprofit agency works with families and individuals that are struggling with debt-related issues. And very frequently today, the debt-related issue that people seem to be so concerned with is the repayment of their student loans. Often one of the questions that seem to come to us is how a student loan might be able to be discharged in a bankruptcy. The individual may feel that the amount of the debt is so severe that they might never be able to repay it, or it's becoming so uncomfortable they would like to know exactly whether it can be discharged in a bankruptcy proceeding. Well, let me start by saying, first of all, our agency is not a law firm, and we are not attorneys. So the information I'm providing here is general information and should not be considered legal guidance. Any legal guidance, you should consult a qualified bankruptcy attorney. That being said, there are some general guidelines to consider. Our agency is an advisory service for people struggling with student loans to help them understand all of the options that they have open to them to resolve that student loan debt, particularly when the payment seems to become overwhelming. In the case of bankruptcy, the first thing that you have to look at is what type of loan it is. In very broad terms, student loans will fall into either government-backed student loans, those that were funded through the United States government, or private loans, generally funded through banks, because the treatment will be different. In the case of government loans, bankruptcy is not impossible. It is somewhat improbable. The proof that it isn't such an overwhelming burden is a very, very difficult process to actually prove. And from what we seem to understand, part of the thinking behind that is there are today so many repayment options available to the consumer through the Department of Education that can bring that payment so low that there seems to be a resistance to allowing the debt to be discharged in bankruptcy. Now, as we move to private loans, there is a slight difference. First, if it is an overwhelming amount of debt, just as with government loans, that may apply. But in particular, in the private loans, you have to look to see whether you would qualify for what is referred to as a mixed-use loan, meaning the proceeds of the loan cover not only college-related expenses, but non-college-related expenses, expenses that would normally be dischargeable in a bankruptcy. So therein lies probably the biggest single distinction. What we recommend to people who are struggling with these questions is to come in and go through an advisory session so that we can understand the specifics of your case. Each case is different, and the specifics are important in providing the proper advice so that you know all of the options available to you, the non-bankruptcy options. You know exactly how those work. And if bankruptcy still seems to be a very compelling reason for you to consider, then able to move to a qualified bankruptcy attorney who can get very specific about your legal remedies before making that final decision of what to do to resolve your loans. Thank you. My name again is George Janis, president of Consumer Debt Counselors located in Winter Park, Florida. Thank you for your time.